Welcome everybody to tonight's by-district baseball action 6A, coming to you from the campus of Weslaco High School on K-West. Coach John Boswell, Mike Gonzalez, on the camera, Vinny Berry, and on the technology, Mike Palacios. Game 2, Weslaco and PSJA. PSJA won the first game of a 3-game series yesterday at PSJA with a score of 4-0. And Mike, the Panthers, what do they need to do to extend this series?
Well, Coach, they need to put the ball in play. Last night, they only had 2 total hits. They had 4 base runners on the night. You know, that's going to be tough if you don't have more men on base. That's tough to go by, and so that's one of the things Coach said and told me is you know, there were times where a couple of the hitters put the ball in play and hit the ball hard, but right at PSJA. So his thing with me was just, hey, we just got to hit it where they're not at. Easier said than done because Cheque Marroquin pitched an outstanding game last night. And the defense coach, if you remember, committed a couple of errors, which resulted in some runs for the Bears. And so it's a combination of putting the ball in play and, you know, the defense cut down on those mistakes, and they'll be okay.
So let's look at the defense tonight for the Panthers. Pitching, junior Jonathan Castillo. Catching, as always, Luis Longoria. Over at first base, Seth Sanchez. Playing second tonight, Brian Diaz. The shortstop, Axel Camarena. His brother, Raul, mans third base. Out in left field, Evan Margot. Center, Matt Calderon. In right field, Rico Avila, last night's pitcher. And designated hitter tonight will be Marco Leal. Mike, the leadoff hitter for the PSJ Bears, is the young man we were calling the MVP last night. His name is Juan Zambrano. He'll be pitching tonight.
And he went 2 for 3 last night. 2 doubles, 2 runs scored. Led off the ball game with a double last night off the wall. In fact, both doubles were pretty much at the exact same spot. So this is a guy that you need to get out.
So it's 82 degrees here on a Friday night from Weslaco, Texas. And it's time to play by-district baseball. And that ball's fouled back by Zambrano. Strike 1.
The numbers on Castillo, Coach, is 8-1 on the season, so he's been very solid throughout the season. Has a variety of pitches that he can come at. This doesn't strike out a lot of people, but he relies on his defense to make the plays.
Popped up to the infield. Camarena's under it. Axel takes it, and that's 1 away. And the batter, the shortstop, number 5, Ariben Gutierrez.
Gutierrez was 1 for 3 last night, singled and scored a run in that first inning, Coach. If you remember, the Bears took a 2-0 lead. He reached on an error his first time up yesterday and then scored.
Ended up with a triple off of that error, as I remember.
Yeah, he ended up at third base after that throwing error. And so
so it's 1 away. Gutierrez inside, ball 1. Marroquin last night was masterful. He ended up striking out 8 or 9 batters, but he had the Panther batters off balance all night. And that's called strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ariben Gutierrez.
Yeah, Marroquin pitched a complete game. Shutout, only gave up 2 hits, 4 base runners the whole night, and did strike out 7.
And that's going to be another called strike. And Mike, if this game goes in favor of the Panthers tonight, game number 3 would be tomorrow at 1 o'clock on the hot turf at PSJA.
Beautiful turf they have over there. I was very impressed with it. Infield is turf and the outfield is grass.
But that turf in the middle of the day could be very warm.
Right.
Hit hard to Camarena. Gets over on it, makes the throw. And the Panthers starting off 2 up, 2 down, and the batter will be the first baseman, number 19, Jacob Sanchez.
And we saw how aggressive the Bears are at the plate, Coach, and they put the ball in play. And so far we've seen Axel come up with the pop-up and the grounder there, making the routine play. Very critical going up against a team like the Bears that make contact.
Well, he's playing at home. He's playing on a surface he's used to. So I've got to say advantage tonight as far as field surface goes to the Panthers. Hit hard foul down the left field line for strike 1.
And Jacob was 0 for 3 last night. Did get credit for an RBI after he hit into a double play but drove in a run.
You know, people ask me, you know, did they not play well? Did Rico not pitch well? Neither one of those things is true. They were off at the plate, but they hit the ball hard in a lot of cases. That looks like it could be a single. Shallow right field, slaps it out there. The first base hit of the game goes to Sanchez. And with 2 outs, runner at first, the catcher, the sophomore, number 11, Devin DeLeon, steps in.
That kind of swing, Coach, reminded me of the great Tony Gwynn. He was such a great hitter, and you know, even if he's fooled on the pitch, he was able to put the bat out there and just make contact. And I think that's what Sanchez did, was just find a way to get that ball in play and found a spot to hit it at, and get the game's first hit.
Well, just barely got over the head of Brian Diaz, and just barely got in front of Rico Avila. Just one of those CNI singles. And first is a swinging strike 1.
Yeah, here's another guy, Coach, who had a pretty big night last night. A 1 for 2 with a double, and had an RBI.
And a couple of throwouts at second, and
right.
Just a nice job behind the plate. He did a nice job last night. Camarena unassisted to second base, and there was a bloop single in there, but that was all they could do. So after the top of the first inning, Mike, it's a different game than it was yesterday. The Panthers will come to bat in the bottom of the first inning with no score. So let's see what kind of pitcher Zambrano is. I don't know if he's a location pitcher. I don't know if he's got some junk. We'll catch that early. But again, the leadoff hitter, number 24, shortstop, Axel Camarena.
Yeah, we saw Zambrano make a lot of great plays defensively at shortstop last night, and so the move to the pitcher is something that the Bears will lose, but more than likely their replacement, Ryan Garza, is just as effective.
You know, it's 82 degrees, Mike, a little cooler than it was this time yesterday. The flags are blowing, but it says there's only 7 miles an hour. So, but I still believe if a ball got hit up in the wind, it's got a shot here.
Right. And I stand corrected, Coach. Zambrano actually played second last night, not short, and he made some terrific plays at that position.
Here's the first pitch. It's like he may be a location pitcher, and that first pitch to Camarena, ball 1. Like to thank Pedro from KTRI for helping us out with the broadcast yesterday and the hospitality. Second pitch, strike 1, 1 ball, 1 strike, that PSJA gave us yesterday in making that broadcast possible. And that's fouled back, strike 2.
Absolutely, Coach. We had a great time at PSJA last night, and Pedro was able to provide us with some insight at PSJA.
Well, the pitcher is the Wedo, you know, and
sure.
One of those guys is a horse. I don't remember which one.
Caballo, yeah.
And that's 2-2. And Chick is short for Ezekiel. I mean, he had a lot of insights on these guys.
So if he's watching us, hello from Weslaco, Texas.
Yeah, he had a family commitment tonight. We may have him back with us tomorrow at PSJA. That ball's going to be fouled away. Remains 2-2. So it's obvious. Yesterday you kind of had a power pitcher who had a curveball. Tonight you look like you have a location pitcher. He hasn't thrown anything that I would call hard yet. He's been nibbling around the outside half the plate, though. Once again, that ball's popped up over by first base. And he gets under it as he falls down, and it's 1 away.
If you recall, Coach, last night there was one of the hits that the Panthers got in that 7th inning was a similar play like that where it was just a pop-up and there was a little miscommunication between first, second, and the right fielder. But this time the third baseman, Jacob Sanchez, was able to get underneath it and make the catch and fell down at the same time. So I think the Bears probably talked about it a little bit and make sure that everybody's on the right page.
So Evan Margot steps in. Number 4 is playing left field. Last night, Mike, he spent all night right around the wall over there at PSJA. And here he is with nobody on and 1 away, and first pitch is a little high, ball 1.
And at the plate, he was 0 for 3 and struck out swinging twice. So let's see if in game 2 he can have a little bit better night.
And that ball's popped up. Catcher's got a shot at it. Does it get out? And it gets out. Strike 1. You noticed last night, Mike, how much room there was in foul territory. PSJA, this field has a good amount of ground in foul territory, but I actually think there might be more over there.
I agree. I mean, by the looks of it, behind home plate and maybe going into first and between home and third is similar. But as you go closer to the corners, right, you can kind of tell that the fences come in a little bit.
Caught him with a half swing. That'll be strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strike 2. Evan Margot.
And then we saw some plays made there in the foul territory on both sides where the ball kind of got away in the first inning and the runner went from first to third.
And he swings and misses. And strikeout for out number 2. And that'll bring to the plate the left-hander, the third baseman, number 8, Raul Camarena.
Raul was one of the players that got the hit last night. As a matter of fact, he got the Panthers' first hit with a leadoff single in the 7th and was 1 for 3 overall. He bats from the left side, as you can see.
I've always wondered why they call that the left side. And as you and I see it, he's on the right side. But as the fielders see it, he's on the left. So that must be it. And that first pitch is ball 1. Hits it to the second baseman. He picks it up, makes the throw. And it's 3 up, 3 down. So after 1 complete inning of play, there is no score here in bi-district action from Weslaco High School. You're watching us on K-West.
Weslaco ISD is the right choice because we now offer open enrollment, free tuition, free transportation, access to award-winning UIL and extracurricular activities, admittance into summer enrichment programs, and schools recently awarded with numerous TEA distinction designations for their academic success. Live there, learn here. For families in Weslaco and now anywhere in the Valley, WISD is the right choice.
And here we go, leading off the top of the 2nd inning, third baseman number 10, Vicente Castillo.
Vicente was 0 for 2 last night, was hit by a pitch. Did reach base twice, hit by pitch and an error.
And the first pitch coming from Jonathan Castillo. Called strike. So in the first inning, Mike, PSJA sent 4 batters up, one seeing eye single. The Panthers only sent up 3. So one of the things Coach Serna was hoping to happen here early in the ball game, getting base runners maybe push a run across, did not happen in the first inning. And that ball's hit right over to Seth Sanchez, unassisted, and it's 1 away.
Yeah, exactly, Coach. I mean, as we mentioned, there were some at-bats where the hitters put the ball in play and hit it sharply, but it was right at PSJA, infielders or outfielders. And so he's hoping that tonight, maybe a little bit of luck on his side.
Well, I'd rather be lucky and good. I coached a long time.
Sure.
And some of our best teams weren't our luckiest teams. And here's the batter, speaking of football, the quarterback for the PSJA Bears, Center fielder tonight, number 23, Trey Guajardo.
Trey bats from the left side.
He made some great plays in center last night.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think he made a basket catch out there. That was a big out.
Off the bat of Seth Sanchez. Here's the pitch. And it's going to be called strike. Umpire thought about that one. Looked like it might be on the outside half the plate. But he liked it enough to call it strike one. So 1 out, nobody on.
Trey was 1 for 3 with a single last night in game 1.
Swings, hits it foul over near the dugout, and that'll be no balls, 2 strike count. A good pitcher's count for Castillo here as he faces the center fielder, Trey Guajardo. Panthers got to play 1 pitch at a time, 1 out at a time, 1 inning at a time, and push this thing back to PSJA tomorrow. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. You know, Mike, it was about 4 years ago, Val Zamora said to me, hey, you're going to do a softball game tonight. Seems like only yesterday, but what a great experience. Great people with K-West, and it's been a pleasure to work with all y'all. And that's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So perhaps, Coach, this would be the final.
Well, let's hope not.
We hope not, of course.
But could it be? Absolutely. I will not be around for the high school all-star game. Got a family commitment on that day. Can't be in South Bend, Indiana, and at Bobby Lackey on the same day. That ball's hit out of play, so it's going to remain 2-2. 1 away.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be watching us.
Well,
hopefully if everything's over.
Yeah, I don't know the scheduling, so I'm not going to pretend I am. The opportunity will be there, though. I'm going to guess that'll be you and Carlos Robledo calling that game.
That is the plan for now, correct.
And
great pitch.
Got him looking. Nice job by Jonathan Castillo. And it's 2 away. Coming to the plate, number 00, Pablo Trevino. He's the designated hitter. He bats in place of second baseman Ryan Garza.
Pablo was 0 for 2 last night as a designated hitter, hitting in the 8th spot. Tonight he's hitting in the 7th spot. Was also hit by a pitch.
He also was batted for 1 time. Pacina, who played right field last night and was DH'd for. That ball's hit in the air over by second base. Gets over under it. And that's 3 up and 3 down. Nice job by the Panthers there in the top of the 2nd inning. 1.5 in the books. Still no score. Panthers will send Luis Longoria, Rico Avila, and Seth Sanchez to the plate in the bottom of the 2nd inning right here on K-West. And here we go, game 2 by district action. PSJA Bears will be in the field here as Weslaco tries to get on the board. The catcher, number 10, Luis Longoria, steps in. You know, Mike, he's been one of the mainstays for the Panthers for a couple of years, and what a better guy to send to the plate maybe to get things started at number 10, Luis Longoria.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. A guy like him that can get on base. Little chop there to the pitcher there for a quick out.
So 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. And last night's pitcher coming to the plate, number 5, Rico Avila. Rico did a really nice job, I felt like, last night. Just a little bad luck and no batting to back him up. And he owes this pitcher, Mike. This pitcher had a couple of big hits off of him. He can pay him back tonight.
Absolutely. He got the 2nd hit last night in the 7th inning. He singled. And there's a whack right there.
And, Mike, he did get even. Last night, Juan Zambrano hit 2 doubles, scored 2 runs off of Rico Avila. And Rico Avila steps up here in possibly his last game in Panther Baseball Stadium. And he does what they do call goes yard. His mother is sitting right in front of us. She is going out of her mind. I know Doc Avila is watching from above, and he's got to be really proud of his grandsons this summer. I mean, this season, baseball and football. He and Rico and Jaime Bonuelos, who are cousins, playing in honor of their grandpa. And it's just like that, Mike. It's 1-0. And here comes Seth Sanchez, who was teeing off on the ball yesterday.
Yeah, you're right, Coach. And how about that, Coach? Right on cue. As you mentioned, you feel like Rico maybe owes Zambrano after the night Zambrano had last night and just slammed it out over the left center field wall for 1-0 lead.
I don't think the wind had anything to do with that either, Mike. I think that would have been out of this park, of the UTPA park. I think that's been out of just about any park. That thing got out quick. And that ball's hit out there. And Seth Sanchez, who hammered the ball yesterday, is on with a single. 1 out, runner at first base, and Matt Calderon will step up. Let's see if Coach Cerna is thinking about small ball here, Mike.
Calderon was 0 for 3 last night. It did line sharply to center field. We're talking about Trey Guajardo out there.
Now batting for your Panthers, the center
And he made the last out last night. So, let's see if he could keep this momentum going. He got a home run and a single.
And he was thinking small ball there. So he made the last out last night. Where'd he hit it, Mike?
Right field.
Right field or second base?
Right field.
Right field? Okay.
Yes.
I was going to say he owes this pitcher too, but. And here we go. He chases Seth Sanchez back to first base. So 3 up and 3 down in the first inning. Panthers already with 2 hits here in the bottom of the second. Make that 3 hits as Matt Calderon hits it out in the left field. And now we have runners on first and second, 1 away. And the Panthers have found their bats. Let's see if Brian Diaz can step up here and add to it. On deck is the DH, number 18, Marco Leal.
Coach, we talk about the Panthers and putting the ball in play, doing an outstanding job. And I think it was big. It was huge for them to get that first run, to take the lead, kind of wake up a little bit, get back into it, and feel good about themselves.
Well, this is totally a different style of pitcher than Marroquin. Zambrano is a second baseman. In my baseball experience, you don't put your best arm at second. You put him at short or third. Yet the guy's got enough direction and moves the ball around. He just doesn't have a whole bunch of velocity. And
so it's more about location, really.
Yeah, he's a location pitcher, maybe with a little bit of junk. But right now, Panthers have figured him out a little bit. And that curveball right in there for strike 1.
You notice the first baseman marching in. He's playing in the grass. You notice the third baseman is playing regular, so they anticipate that he'll bunt to the right side.
And they want to try to get the runner going to third. They want to get the lead runner is what they're looking at.
Exactly.
There. And they're going to get him at second. And they got him. So he gets picked off at second base. And it's 2 away. Just like that, your fortunes can change.
It changes the momentum a little bit. There is still a base runner at first. But
well, we saw that action yesterday. That shortstop is real sneaky out there, Gutierrez. Snuck around the backside. Now they're trying to get the runner at first. Matt Calderon is not going to be fooled over there. So 2 outs, 1 strike is the count on Brian Diaz. And a swing and a miss on that curveball. No balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, you wonder, Coach, if there was perhaps a hit and run or something that was going to happen, because Seth was he was already going to third base. Literally, he was way off the bag in second.
Yeah, he got pretty bold over there, and I think maybe a bunt was on. Early in the count, Diaz was showing bunt. But now with 1 on and 2 outs, it's 2 strikes. So he's on the defensive side now. Now gets by the catcher. Calderon takes second on the wild pitch. And that's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count to Brian Diaz.
And so what that takes away is a force out at second.
Right.
And now there's a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, a ball in the gap should score Calderon. He runs well. And that ball is hit. Third base, shortstop gets by him. And we're going to have to call that an error, but that puts Brian Diaz on first. It takes Matt Calderon to third, and your designated hitter steps up with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. And here comes PSJA coach Guajardo out of the dugout to talk to the third baseman, I believe.
And for a split second, Coach, I thought Coach Serna was going to send Matt Calderon as he rounded third, but then once the shortstop was able to get the ball, Serna immediately called him right back.
Yeah, well, Matt rounded with great intent, but Coach Serna kept his eye as that ball got through, but it didn't get through very far. And that shortstop's got a pretty good arm.
Number 18, Marco.
So Marco Leal steps in here. I don't believe he got any at-bats yesterday, but Coach Serna's got the faith in him to be the DH tonight. He's batting left-handed.
A senior with a great opportunity here to help his club.
Outside for ball 1. On deck, back at the top of the order, will be Axel Camarena. He flew out the first time up.
And you're right, Coach. Marco didn't get at bat yesterday, but he's DHing for Jonathan Castillo.
And Marco's one of those arms we may see later in the wow. And he asked him, did he go for it? They said no, so it'll be 2 balls, no strikes. But you could see Marco on the mound here in this series. He's one of the arms, and swing and a miss. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Marco, an exceptional athlete. We saw him as a starting quarterback for the football team as we see a throw to first there.
Now Marco's just a very skilled athlete from a very athletic family. And outside, is that going to be 3-1 there, Mike?
We saw the third baseman marching in.
Unusual to bunt with 2 outs.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless the runner is just blazing fast. Marco's a good athlete. I don't know if he's blazing, though. Outside, he walked in. The bases are full. So with the bases loaded, the batter, shortstop leadoff hitter number 24, Axel Camarena, and Mike popped out to the first baseman in the first at-bat.
Right. And how about Marco? A great eye there at the plate. Was able to draw the walk and load the bases to give Axel an opportunity here.
The runner down at second, I believe that's Brian Diaz, is having a problem with his shoe, and looks like he's got that ready to go. Camarena could score 2 with a single here. And that's going to be called strike 1. Bottom of the second inning, Rico Avila finds the parking lot. It's 1-0. Panthers looking for a 2-run rally, 2-out rally, I'm sorry. And a swing and a miss. Strike 2.
Looked like some kind of sinker there, Coach. And Axel chased it and wasn't able to get it.
And that one's in the dirt. I can say that again tonight, Mike. Last night we were playing on an artificial surface where there was no dirt. Tonight, Tonight we have good old green grass and brown dirt.
The old-fashioned way.
And he pokes that one away. It's still 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away. Bases loaded. A fair hit of any kind will score at least 1. Now the pitcher, is he doctoring the baseball? Looks like he may be.
I wasn't sure if it was that or if he was tying his shoe or.
Well, he's rubbing the baseball on his pants. I don't know, is that where he keeps the Vaseline? I'm not sure, but and here's the 2-strike pitch, and he hits that one to shortstop. He flips it over to second, and it's 3 away. But Rico Avila steps in against Zambrano, takes it over towards the softball field, and the Panthers, after 2 complete innings, lead 1-0. So here in the top of the 3rd inning, coming to the plate for PSJA will be batter 8 and 9. That is Joel Pasina, the right fielder, and Cesar Cantu, the left fielder. Then it'll be back to the top of the order. There has been 1 hit, and that was kind of a seeing eye single by Jacob Sanchez in the 1st inning. 3 up, 3 down in the 2nd. Jonathan Castillo will be on the hill. Luis Longoria behind the plate. And the 3rd inning will begin right here with your batter, number 8, Joel Pasina.
And Pasina did have an at-bat yesterday, Coach. He popped to the second baseman.
Yeah, early in the game, there was a batter hitting for him, but he hit for himself one time.
Right.
So steps in here to face junior number 12, Jonathan Castillo. Castillo so far has been right on. No walks, 1 strikeout, 1 hit. There's big Richard Lefevre here backing up his homeboys from the city of Weslaco. It's good to see crosstown rivals supporting each other when it's kind of like you can beat up on your little brother, but if the neighbor wants to beat up on him, there might be a fight. Well, it's that way in Weslaco. We're one town when that's all that's left. Hit out to Castillo. He runs towards first, makes the underhand throw. And it's 1 away.
You saw Castillo there run as close as he can to first base and make sure to deliver that throw on time and accurately to get that first out.
And the batter with 1 away, the 9-hole hitter, the left fielder, number 3, Cesar Cantu.
And Cesar was 0 for 2 last night, the number 9 hitter.
On deck, the pitcher, number 2, Juan Zambrano. And that one's going to be outside for ball 1.
Well, Richard Lefevre, going back to Richard Lefevre, he brought a lot of, how would you say it, Coach? It was so much fun to watch as an athlete and as a football player. 3-year starter for the Wildcat football team.
Well, you know, you're going to have opportunities possibly to see him here playing for Incarnate Word. And there's going to be quite a Valley connection there. I know Gunnar Henderson from McAllen High is also one of their big signees, Incarnate Word in San Antonio. So if you have a spare weekend, that's a strike 2. Get to Kingsville and watch some of the Valley. I know Tommy Chavez and other Valley guys and maybe some more from WISD will be on the Javelina team. And there's going to be people from WISD playing at Incarnate Word in San Antonio. So make a weekend of it. Get up there and go watch a ball game. That one's in the dirt. 2-2.
I'd like to give a shout out to Liz Serna Longoria. She's the daughter of Coach Eddie Serna, watching watching us from home.
Well, good. It's a nice night to be here in person, but, you know, K-West gives you that opportunity. And swing and a miss. Struck him out. And it is 2 away. You know, Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Priscilla Canales, the school board, Carlos Robledo, the director of K-West, everybody from technology that makes K-West and these broadcasts possible. When you see them, thank them, encourage them to continue to support K-West. And here we go. The batter, the pitcher, Juan Zambrano, flew out to shortstop his first time. And the curveball is in. Strike one.
And adding to the list, Coach, is some in-laws watching from California, New Mexico, and Memphis, Tennessee.
Wow.
So thank you.
Well, and let people know, your relatives, hey, are you watching? The Panthers are playing on K-West. Get online and follow them. And also, we talked about the All-Star game. All the graduations will take place live on K-West also. So if you've got somebody graduating from a WISD school, stay tuned for graduation. That ball's popped out foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away. Jonathan Castillo with great command so far this evening. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. Coach John Boswell, Mike Gonzalez, the reporter from K-West, Vinny Berry on the camera, and Mike Palacios on the technology, bringing you by-district action. And that ball's hit hard up the middle, and that'll be a single. You know, this young man is one of the better hitters I've seen this year, Zambrano, and he found a way to get on base. So with 2 outs, running at first, the batter's the shortstop, number 5, Ariben Gutierrez.
No, Zambrano just, he knows where to hit the ball, Coach, and hits it very, very hard. At that time, he just goes to center field and line drives a single. Second hit, I beg your pardon, for the Bears tonight.
And they're going to run for Zambrano since he's pitching tonight. If we can get a number there. Is it 1?
We're sitting here in the press box, Coach, but the great thing about the uniforms tonight is that the numbers are nice and big. So,
yeah, there's just not a good number on the front, and his back is faced away from us. So I'm not sure who that is running. We get a number on him, I will identify him. And that ball's hit over towards second base. He's going to – oh, it gets by him. So we got an error on the second baseman. And just what you can't afford. You can't give the extra outs to good teams. And the guy who had the first hit of the ball game, number 19, Jacob Sanchez, the first baseman, steps in with runners on first and second and 2 away.
Yeah, you know, the Panther defense overall has looked really, really good, but they have made some mistakes here in the series, that the first 2 games that we've played so far. And that time, a routine grounder to second only opens the door for the Bears to stay alive. That could have been the 3rd out, the final out of the inning. But instead, you have 2 runners on, as you mentioned, Coach, with Jacob Sanchez, who singled his first time up.
Well, you know that ball had to have some spin on it. You know, a right-handed hitter hits it over towards the second baseman, and it was actually kind of tailing away from him. But you just got to step up and, you know, a coach I used to have said, you got to play the bounce. You can't let the bounce play you, and I think that happened just a little bit on that play. But no harm, no foul if we can get this batter here. So the first pitch to Sanchez. Runners on first and second. There's the pitch. Has ball 1. And that's going to be outside. Ball 2, way outside, actually.
So with runners at first and second, Coach, that means you can get it out either third,
Oh, yeah.
second, or first.
You can take the easy one, as they say. Forces everywhere. And a swing and a miss. That ball was headed outside. He swung at it. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 away, 2 on. Get another strike, Mike, and we'll have your favorite count up there.
That's right. A great pitch there by Castillo. Took something off of that and went outside, as you mentioned, and Sanchez was chasing it.
And a swing and a miss. Go ahead, Mike. What do we got?
Deuces are wild. 2, 2, and 2. With
and 2 on.
That's right, with 2 on.
So we added a 2 for you.
Yeah. 4 of a kind.
Yeah, if you're playing cards, that's a pretty good hand.
That's a very good hand, absolutely.
4 deuces is pretty good. Oh, and he slapped it foul. Nice job of staying alive by the batter, Jacob Sanchez. Good pitch by Jonathan Castillo. And the count remains with all those wild deuces.
Yeah, as we mentioned last night, Coach, we have 4 umpires. We got a home plate umpire, we got a first base umpire, a second base umpire, and a third base umpire. And a third base umpire with perfect position there and saw the foul ball there. I would say about 5 feet.
I'm pretty sure he's watching. Let's give a little quick K-West shout-out to our old friend Terry Beidler. That's going to be hit foul. Many a baseball and softball game broadcast on K-West by our old friend Terry Beidler. Hope everything's going well for you, Terry. And one of the guys I've worked with over the years at K-West. I'll try to mention most of them as we go tonight. But Terry was the first.
Yeah, the original voice of K-West Sports.
The actual voice.
Yeah, Terry Beidler.
Everybody else will be imitators and followers. He was the beginning. He and Joey, first 2 to kind of accept me into the booth. Along the way, Scott Harrison, Coach Cuellar, Joe Aguilar, Carlos Robledo. Been a number of people. And he swings and misses, and he gets him. Nice job there by the Panthers. Even better job by Jonathan Castillo. And even though things got a little bit hairy with a couple of base runners, no runs crossed. And after 2.5 innings, Panthers still lead 1-0. Coming to the bat in the bottom of the 3rd, Evan Margot, Raul Camarena, and Luis Longoria. You're watching playoff action on K-West. And stepping in, Mike, you want to take it here? Bottom of the 3rd?
Sure. Even Margot, left fielder, 0 for 1, struck out swinging. Panthers with 2 hits, both coming in the 2nd inning via by home run by Rico Avila and a single by Cesc Sanchez. And as I mentioned before, Coach, you've just been a valuable asset to our K-West team. Swung and he missed. 0-1 the count. As a former coach, I mean, just your knowledge, you bring that value to our team and just things that, you know, us fans, that we may know the game to a certain degree, and that's a ball there to even the count. However, you just bring the inside stuff that perhaps, you know, a lot of these teams are talking about in the dugout or in the locker room or on the court. The psychology of it, which is very, very important in sports. The X's and O's that come into play. I mean, all that just brings our broadcast a few more notches up. And that's what we're going to miss.
Whoa.
That's strike number 2 there for a 1-2 count.
Well, you know, my whole life I've been part of a team, and in 2014 when I retired, my biggest question to myself was, what team am I on now? And K-West gave me that team.
Swung and he missed, and Margot goes down swinging. And, Coach, I have that as strikeout number 2.
Both by Evan.
Both right by Evan Margot, correct.
And both on curveballs, I believe, there on the third strike.
Now batting for the Panthers, number 8.
Now up to bat would be number 8, Raul Camarena.
Like, I got a strange little weather blurb here. It says rain will begin around 8:13.
Oh my!
I don't know how accurate that is. That's a foul ball.
But you know how technology is nowadays. They're able to. Oh, ball one. Beg your pardon. Nowadays, technology just is able to calculate and predict these things. And I'm amazed, Coach, when I see the local weather forecast as that strike call there to even account. Now they have the kind of technology where they'll say, okay, Weslaco, Texas, you're expecting rain about 20 minutes. Harlingen, Texas, about 25 minutes, and so forth. And that gives us an opportunity to prepare a little bit better there. 1 and 2 the count there as strike was called. And that's outside for ball number 2 to even the count. And Raul grounded to second back in the first inning.
So I'm looking at a radar weather map, and it looks like there is some possible precipitation in our near future. We'll let you know. We're going to play as long as we can. The nice thing is the team that we are playing against has an artificial surface. So if this needs to be moved to PSJA tomorrow, you could play there no matter the situation, as long as it isn't actively raining.
Outside for ball 3, full count.
He hasn't walked anybody yet, has he, Mike?
No.
Well,
yeah.
Marco Leal.
That loaded the bases back in the second inning. And Leal was actually the first batter to draw a walk for the Panthers in this series. And that smack to left field. He's there for the second out of the inning. That would be Cesar Cantu. And that brings up the catcher, Luis Longoria. And he's looking for his first hit of the series, Coach.
You know, that surprises me. You know, he's been one of the ringleaders. He's batting fourth in the lineup. They just tried a curveball on him that didn't hit the zone. But Luis has been real steady all year.
And that's a strike caught to even the count at 1-1. His senior catcher takes another strike for a 1-2 count.
I thought that may have left the zone after the curve, but he's got a nice little curveball out there.
So Zambrano ahead of the count now. And he swings and he pops it up. Shortstop looks like he's getting under it for the final out of the third inning. 1, 2, 3 go down the Panthers. We move into top of the fourth inning with the Panthers leading 1-0.
Before David Lozano started practicing law, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. He participated in UIL athletics. He was a regional qualifier. He earned college credits through the dual enrollment program. After high school, he attended the University of Texas before graduating from St. Mary's School of Law. Now he helps people in need as an attorney. WISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For David Lozano, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
So the bottom of the third inning, all the Panthers can do is 2 fly balls and a strikeout. Heading to the plate for PSJA here in the top of the fourth, Mike, will be De Leon, Castillo, and Guajardo. The good defense and fine pitching by Jonathan Castillo needs to continue here in the top of the fourth. And we're moving right along. It's game's about an hour old, but there is a possible weather in our area. We'll let you know. Of course, they're not going to put the fans or the athletes at risk. The radar shows.
And so help me out, Coach. I know in Major League Baseball, if you go, 5 innings, it's an official game.
I think it's the same here.
Is it the same for high school?
Yeah,
Okay.
which means you have to complete it. Now, Weslaco is ahead, so I don't believe they would have to bat in the bottom of the fifth.
So the visiting team will need to complete
But if
the 5
Weslaco
innings.
was behind,
Right.
then they would have to finish the inning by batting. So, yeah, and I'm not sure of the weather. With the playoffs, I know a couple of years ago in softball, Wesco High was playing at Edinburgh. Mike, it rained so hard that the field was unplayable. They put both teams in buses and took them to Ed Couch to finish the game, and all they needed, we went all the way to Ed Couch, re-warmed up, reset up with the K-West equipment to get 2 outs.
Wow. I remember that afternoon. Actually, Coach, I went over there with my daughter as a fan, and I just remember how heavy that rain fell, which led to the move. So leading off the 4th inning is Devin De Leon here. Takes ball 1 here. Devin grounded to short on an unassisted ground out to win the 1st inning. Strike call there to even the count.
You know, I was talking about some of the guys I partnered up with. I forgot one, Jake Berry.
Yeah, even Jake
helped out. We did some track and stuff with K-West, and then I did some radio with Jake Berry and Clay Williams. So I'd like to thank all those guys for bringing me into those families.
And in my years working in the Mid-Valley Town Crier, I remember I would always come to the game about an hour and a half before the game. And, I mean, I would see all these guys up there putting everything together. That's outside for ball 3. You know, and I just thought to myself, wow, you know, what a team K-West has. And then just now to just be a part of it, Coach, it's just what a blessing.
Well, you know, the crew, I left out Joe Leal. Does a great job with all the audio. Of course, the First Lady of K-West, Darlene Gracia, does all the gorgeous graphic swings and a miss. Mina does everything in the office, and the lady that runs the videos in the back.
Alma Franklin.
Yes, all those people at K-West are top-notch, do outstanding work. But a Football Friday is a 24-hour day for those guys, pretty much. Set up, tear down, and then broadcast the game. And we show up and look pretty, you know. They make us look and sound good.
Ground ball to second base. Easy out for out number 1. That was Brian Diaz with the pickup there. Throws it to Seth Sanchez for the 4-3 out.
Let me tell you, the K-West guys have really helped me, though, in some areas because I'm not on camera a whole lot, which I'm happy about. But I've had to do some on-field interviews and stuff, which is way out of my comfort zone. But it's been fun, and it's been a growing proposition for me. And I may try to, in my move here, in my third life, see if there's some opportunities to do some of that.
First pitch to Vicente Castillo is ball. Castillo grounded to Seth Sanchez back in the 2nd inning. 0 for 1 on the night. Swung and he missed. Castillo chasing that pitch to even a count at 1-1 with 1 out. Panthers in front, 1-0. Jonathan doing a great job on the mound tonight for the Panthers as they try to even the series. And that's hit to center field. Hit well. And he's got it. That's Matt Calderon at center field. Great job there. I think the wind was playing with it a little bit, Coach. Will you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. He was on pretty much a full sprint back. He did a real nice imitation of Trey Guajardo yesterday over at PSJA, catching balls the same way.
Not ready for the Bears.
Temperature currently, Mike, is 80 degrees, and the chance of rain is now 55%. So
It's going up a little bit, isn't it?
yeah, it's changed since the game started, that's for sure.
Right. And speaking of Trey Guajardo, he's up to bat right now from the left side. Struck out looking back in the second inning. Takes the first pitch right up the middle, hit hard. But look at Camarena getting the pitch, getting the ball there for the third out. What a play by Axel Camarena, having to field that play right behind second base and throwing it to Cesc Sanchez for the third out. 1, 2, 3, go.
Panther pitcher, you have
The
4
Bears.
pitches.
So we move into the bottom of the fourth inning with the Panthers in front, 1-0.
We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Who we have coming to the plate, Mike?
We got Rico Avila, the right fielder, who homered his last time up for the only score of the night. Just took a whack at it over the left center field wall for a 1-0 lead. Yes, Coach, we had a great time Tuesday at the Teacher of the Year luncheon. And the great thing about our K-West director, Carlos Robledo, is that he always wants to do something different every year. And this year, what we did was we visited every campus of every elementary, swung and he missed. Every elementary, every middle school, and every high school, and and surprised these Teachers of the Year with the superintendent there and a few other people, and it looks like it was a
Foul ball.
tip foul ball there for 0-2 count. And it was just awesome to see the emotion of these teachers and the support they had from the rest of the teachers, administration, and the student body all there. And I know some of these took place like in gyms. Some of them took place in the classroom. And, we had a variety of places, and it was just awesome to watch. Swung and he missed for out number 1. I have that as a strikeout number 3 for Zambrano. And yeah, I mean that's the great thing about having a boss like Carlos Robledo, who, like all of us, Coach, have a lot of experience in our profession, and just the creativity that's involved in our projects. And this was a first for K-West. I think.
I spent 7 years. Our family spent 7 years in Corpus, and Carlos was on the TV up there. I used to see him on TV in Corpus, and then we moved back to the Valley. There he was on Channel 4, and now I'm working with him. So that's pretty interesting. Plus, I knew his brother Ronnie pretty well. He's from a family of teachers and coaches, so he understands what they're going through.
Cesc Sanchez at the plate is behind now, 0-2. He singled his first time up after Rico Avila's home run back in the second inning. Those are the only 2 hits Panthers have tonight.
Zambrano seems to have found his way a little bit following that home run. Since the home run, he's had 2 fly balls and 2 strikeouts.
He did give up a walk to Marco Leal
Yeah.
to load the bases, but was able to get out of that jam. And, yeah, he's moving along very, very well, along with Jonathan Castillo. So another pitcher's duel. And that looks outside for ball number 2 to even the count at 2-2. And that's hit straight to second base right there for the third out. Good job, Ryan Garza, for, I beg your pardon, out number 2. Got a little ahead of myself here, but.
Let's hope you're not a fortune teller here.
Yeah, you're right. And, so that's only the second out of the inning. And that brings up center fielder Matt Calderon, who
made a great defensive play last inning.
He did. He did. And he singled his first time up and takes ball number 1. Swung and he missed. Calderon chased. and got nothing. So 1 ball and 1 strike, 2 outs.
Curveball.
Great pitch there by Zambrano for strike number 2, and he's ahead of the count now at 1-2. And time is called here right before Zambrano was getting ready to deliver the pitch. But I'm looking out at the skies, Coach, to the west, and Bears were asking for a first baseman there to see if he swung, and they say no, so that evens the count at 2-2. But I'm looking out at the west, and it looks like it's
hard to tell. There's like just a dead sky almost. No cloud.
It is gloomy, cloudy, but the sun has set, so it is a little bit hard to tell.
Full count.
Full count now, 3-2 with 2 outs. So just something to keep an eye on as the rain
looms.
Right, looking at the weather, it looked like in Stark County, swung and he missed for out number 3 in the inning. And 1, 2, 3 do go to the Panthers here in the 4th inning. The score remains 1-0 Weslaco. You are watching playoff baseball on K-West.
Before Clarissa Renteria was a dentist, she was a student at Weslaco ISD. She was a cheerleader, played softball, and started college early through the dual enrollment program. She graduated from UTPA before earning her degree from the University of Texas School of Dentistry in Houston. Now she is Dr. Renteria, creating beautiful smiles at Professional Dental Group. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For Dr. Clarissa Renteria, WISD was the right choice.
So we're moving on to the top of the 5th inning, and PSJA will send up the DH Pablo Trevino, Joel Pacina, and Cesar Cantu, 7, 8, and 9 in their order.
4 hits overall in this game. Both teams have 2 in the game, so you're right. Pitcher's duel tonight. And, you know, last night, it kind of was a pitcher's duel, really. Bears scored 4 runs in the first 3 innings of the game, but a couple of those runs were virtue of an error. And but overall, Rico Avila pitched himself a very good game as well, but it was just too much. Cheque Marroquin shutting the Panthers out, but not tonight. Tonight, the Panthers were able to get on the board, and then now they're just trying to hold on here and force game number 3. And Trevino is now at the plate. He popped to second his first time up. And Castillo ready to deliver. First pitch is inside for ball number 1.
Really a nice crowd here. Good number of people from PSJA, and of course Weslaco travels well.
I remember last night before the game, Coach, I don't know if I was talking to you or Pedro, but I remember saying, this was maybe about 30 minutes before the game. I'm like, where's everybody? Because there was a lot of empty seats, and all of a sudden everybody just came all at once right before first pitch, and it turned out to be a great night there as ball number 2. And yes, tonight another great crowd from both teams, both communities coming and supporting.
Well, last night was, to my knowledge, the first dual-branded broadcast out of the K-West joint broadcast between KTRI and K-West.
If you're right, Coach, we're talking, wow, 26 years, I think, that K-West first got in the air back in the fall of 1992. And, yeah, if you're right, then history was made.
It's been fun to be part of, you know, you've been part of history here. Live remotes pre-game shows, post-game shows. All those things are pioneering for Valley Educational TV.
And that's hit to right field. Calling him off. Rico calling everybody off for the first out of the inning. And that brings up Joel Piscina, who grounded to the pitcher his first time up back in the third inning.
Now batting for the Bears, Joel Piscina.
And something else to mention, Coach, I noticed that there's a MAC High scout here. This is the same gentleman that I saw last night at PSJA, and I saw Laredo United, about 3 coaches, I think.
Well, you've got to cover your bases when you're coaching and you're in the playoffs. You need to see people. That ball's hit hard.
That's right to the left fielder there, Evan Margot. Terrific catch there. As you mentioned, Coach, last night, Evan with a tough night back there. A lot of balls hit his way, a couple off the wall. But that time, Evan Margot gets a line drive and makes the catch for out number 2.
Had to run a little bit, get to it, but nice play out there by the veteran, Evan Margot.
That brings up Cesar Cantu, who struck out swinging his first time up. Castillo moving along. First pitch is called a strike, got the outside corner. And that's a little bit inside. That was borderline right there. Empire with the best look there. Called the ball to even the count. Got the outside corner again for strike number 2. 1-2 the count. 2 out, nobody on. Weslaco in front, 1-0. That's grounded to short. Easy out. Oh, actually, the tag was missed there. The ball a little off. And so the inning stays alive here.
So how do you rule that? Is that an infield single or is that an error on the
I think
shortstop?
I think that's an error on the shortstop. The throw was off target there, and Seth Sanchez did his best to tag Cesar Cantu out, but missed, and he's safe at first. So the Bears have their first base runner since the third inning. And coming up is leadoff hitter Juan Zambrano, who singled his first time up. He's been a tough out this series. He has 3 hits. And that ball's outside for ball 1.
Yeah, you don't want to get 2 outs and let a runner get on and have this guy come into the plate.
Yeah, he sure is a tough out. I mean, if anything, Coach, he puts the ball in play regardless. Strike call there to even the count at 1-1. So the Bears trying to tie this game at the very least with another opportunity here. And that's outside for ball number 2. 2-1 the count.
Well, Castillo's showing the respect that this batter deserves. He's not really throwing anything you would call in the zone, really. He's making him work the outside half and maybe chase some balls.
Swung and he missed for strike number 2.
Here's your count, Mike.
2 balls, 2 strike, 2 outs. Deuces are wild. 1 on. Castillo with 3 strikeouts on the night. delivers. One at the outside corner, doesn't get it. Full count now at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Big pitch coming up, Coach.
Absolutely. The runner will probably be going on the pitch. The way this guy hits, you're in trouble if he does get one.
So here we go. And that's foul back. The count remains 3-2. Wind still blowing, Coach, a little bit, but it looks more like it's blowing to the left field corner. And so here we go. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 on. The delivery.
Whoa.
Ball 4.
I thought that was in the zone, but it walked him. So once again, Mike, with 2 outs, there's runners at first and second.
Same situation as the 3rd inning here. And coming up is Ruben Gutierrez, who's officially 0 for 2. However, he reached on an error in the 3rd inning with an opportunity here. Swung and he missed. Throw to first. He got him. Great job there by Luis Longoria. Throwing it to Cez Sanchez at first. Tagging out Cesar Cantu. And that retires a side, Coach. And once again, Castillo out of a jam there, but gets help from his catcher.
Still on the mound for PSJA Bears, Juan Zambrano. And behind the plate, Devin De Leon. Mike, once again, you're watching K-West. John Boswell, Mike Gonzalez. Mike Palacios on the technology, and Vinny Barry on the camera, coming to you on K-West.
Okay, so we start with the second baseman, Brian Diaz, who reached on an error, Coach, back in the 2nd inning.
He was on, they had the bases loaded. He was on second base when the inning ended.
Yeah, that is correct. Zambrano on the mound for the Bears. First pitch of the inning is low for ball 1. Let's see if the Panthers can get an insurance run here, Coach. Swung and he missed for strike number 1.
I'm sure that's what they're thinking about. Base runners turn into runs, and see if we can make that happen.
Swung and he missed again. Zambrano ahead of the count, and 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Because aside from the 3 hits in a row that they recorded in the 2nd inning, the Panthers have not had a hit.
And he swung and a miss again for out number 1.
5th strikeout.
5th strikeout of the night for Zambrano. Got Diaz there chasing and got the first out of the inning. And that brings up designated hitter Marco Leal, who walked his first time up, was stranded at first in that bases loaded situation in 2nd inning. Takes first pitch, and that's hit hard by the first baseman for a base hit. Marco rounding first. He's going for second. The ball goes all the way to the wall. And Marco will stay there at second.
I'm going to call that a double, Mike. That ball got through hard and then rolled away from the right fielder. I know a lot of people here in the stands think that Marco should be standing on third, but with 2 outs, you got your leadoff hitter coming to the plate. He's flown out, he's grounded out. Let's see if he can come through here. in the bottom of the 5th inning.
The ball was able to get under the glove of Jacob Sanchez there at first, and then by Joel Piscina at right, and Marco at second with an opportunity here for Axel. Shows bunt and does bunt. Zambrano gets it, throws it first, and the ball is thrown away. And Marco's gonna score easily. Axel with his speed goes to second, thinking going to third. There he goes. Here's the throw. He will be out.
He hesitated at second, Mike.
Yes, I saw that, Coach. I saw that hesitation, and had he not hesitated, he probably would have been safe. But
here's the secret. Run number 2 crosses the plate here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Axel Camarena gets on an error, gets thrown out at third.
And what happened, Coach, is that the Bears were saying, okay, we'll let Marco take third. We're going to get the sure out at first, but the ball got away. And as we mentioned, the open space we have here in foul territory, and that's hit hard to left field. And that's out number 3 there. A great catch by Cesar Cantu to retire the side. However, the Panthers with an insurance run. 1 hit, 1 left. So we move on to the 6th inning. It is now your Weslaco Panthers 2, the PSJA Bears nothing.
At Weslaco ISD, our elementary schools are diving into new and inventive methods of learning that are transforming lives one mind at a time. Our innovative learning practices have earned our elementary schools numerous TEA distinction designations for their academic programs. Now with open enrollment, WISD, academics, arts, and athletics. For families everywhere, Weslaco ISD elementary schools are the right choice.
Now we're on to the Panther defense, Mike. Jonathan Castillo and boys need to shut down the PSJ Bears, who have not had a runner, I don't believe, past second base tonight. Audubon Gutierrez, Jacob Sanchez, and Devin De Leon will come to bat here in the top of the 6th inning. We talked about this last night, Mike. Now the Panthers are counting outs. They're down to 6 outs. If nothing changes, they need to get 6 outs.
Exactly, Coach. Right on there. That's something that the Bears were able to control last night. Got a little scared there in the 7th, but had a 4-run lead. Tonight it's 2 for Weslaco at this point. But yes, you're right, Coach. 6 more outs. And Castillo doing his part of it for sure.
And the temperatures dropped down to 79 degrees. The chance of rain actually is bumped over to the 10 o'clock hour, up to 75% chance. So there's a good chance this game finishes without any problems. Remember, if Weslaco can hold on and win, tomorrow, PSJA Weslaco, game number 3 at PSJA at 1 o'clock.
Okay, first pitch of the 6th inning. That's ripped to left field for out number 1. That's Evan Margot there. I'm sure he feels pretty good, Coach, after last night. But all credit to the Bears for hitting the ball out that way, hitting it hard. But Margot was able to control things out there tonight for out number 1. And that brings up Jacob Sanchez, who's 1 for 2, singled in the 1st inning. Now it's 5 more outs to go to force a game 3. And that's popped. Will it stay in?
Yes, it will.
Oh, great effort there by Luis Longoria, but
I may have hit him, Mike. I hope he's okay. Seth's kind of laughing at him.
Right.
He pointed like I'm okay. I thought it hit maybe his shoulder.
Might have a little bruise tomorrow morning.
Well, catchers, that's just part of the job. But,
Sure.
You're running after a ball. You're looking up in the air, and you're trying to stay off the backstop. That wooden backstop area, that can be very painful. At PSJA, that is actually brick. So you want to stay off of that. But we have a 1-strike count.
That's right. So 0-1 the count here. And that's into the dirt for ball one. Swung and he missed for strike number 2. 1-2 the count, 1 out. You mentioned, Coach, about the chance of rain at the 10 o'clock hour. Right now it's 8, I have about 8:28 here in Weslaco, so that's about an hour and a half from now. The delivery, ground ball, base hit, center field. Sanchez with his second hit of the night. 3rd overall for the PSJA Bears. And that brings up Darren De Leon, who's 0 for 2, grounded to second.
Now batting for the Bears.
Back in the 4th inning.
De Leon.
Devin De Leon's been very impressive. You know, last night we found out he's a sophomore. In to run for Sanchez is number 14, did I see? That would be Omar Alcantara. In to run for Jacob Sanchez. Get a little more speed maybe on the base pass. Let's see if PSJA is thinking small ball to move this batter along with 1 out here, top of inning number 6.
De Leon represents the tying run. They're trying to get on the scoreboard here. First pitch is inside for ball number 1. Almost hit him. Castillo hasn't hit anybody tonight. Last night.
Yeah, there was a few guys pegged as they
Right.
doink.
Yeah, there was a few doinks last night.
But none of them really hurt anything as far as the score. Didn't change the game at all. Gave PSJA a couple of extra base runners is all.
So want to know the count here. Checked his swing, strike call. Looked like a strike nevertheless, or regardless. So 1-1 is the count.
Need to race this batter, but a double play. You know, you have your catcher at the bat, usually not the fleetest guy on the team.
And I see the infield playing at their regular spots here. Outside for ball number 2.
I'm not sure if his breaking ball is just getting out of the zone or if that's where he's trying to put the ball. Once in a while, he gets one kind of way outside.
Two and 1 the count. And that's ball 3. Great job there by Longoria, making a stop there. But it's 3-1 the count.
You know, Castillo's had plenty of pitching innings, I'm sure, this year. It's not been a warm night. I can't imagine that he's super tired. But you are in inning number 6, so.
Ground ball to third base, a throw to second, out. Double play.
Well, we just talked about it. Your catcher's usually not your fastest guy. So 6-4 to 3, Mike. And the Panthers end up 3 up and 3 down. And we're going to the bottom of the 6th with a 2-run lead. You're watching by-district playoffs on K-West. You know, it'd be kind of unusual. Yesterday we had Marlo Keene go the whole way for PSJA and had Rico Avila go the entire way for the Panthers. Tonight, Jonathan Castillo has gone all 6 innings that have been played, and Juan Zambrano is heading into the bottom of the 6th. We could have 2 complete games and only use 4 pitchers. I know that would leave anybody else with an arm on both staffs with the ability to pitch tomorrow in the deciding game number 3. I'm not counting chickens before they hatch, just talking about possible scenarios. Because I don't know for sure who PSJA has as that third pitcher. I know Weslaco has guys like Marco Leal and Seth Sanchez and some other guys like that have put some innings in this year. And Mike leading off for the Panthers here in the bottom of the 6th. Third baseman number 8, Raul Camarena.
And Raul is 0 for 2. Fly to left, his first time up.
What a double play he started at the end of the last half of the inning. Made the great throw to second, turned by Brian Diaz into a double play. Counts 1 ball, no strikes here in bottom of the 6th. That ball's hit out towards center field. Trey Guajardo gets fooled by it for just a second. But that fly ball, and it's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th.
But Trey had to move to his right there to make the catch. Another great catch there for a big first out here in the 6th inning.
And here we go. Louis Longoria steps in, the catcher, number 10. Mike, he's looking for his first hit of the series here. 0 for 2 today.
Yeah, he fly to the shortstop his first time up. That's ball number 1.
So grounded the pitcher, fly to the shortstop. Let's see Louis break loose here.
Swung and he missed to
Got
even
him
the
with
count.
a curve there, Mike.
Looks like that's been Zambrano's go-to pitch.
Well, he doesn't have a lot of speed. He just changes location and throws a pretty good little curveball. And I think that must have been fouled away, but it's still a strike.
It's still a strike to make the count at 1 and 2. So Zambrano ahead of Longoria here. And that's foul back.
Yep, that's nice right there. The on-deck batter does not see it. I believe that's Rico.
And there he goes. Get the ball there. That's grounded to short. Easy play there. 2 outs. 2 up, 2 down for Rico Avila, who's 1 for 2, coach.
I see a sign in the crowd that says, Rico. From back in the day, huh? Rico Suave at the bat.
Yeah, that was a big hit back in 1990, 91.
That was a ball, I believe.
Do you remember the name of the artist?
Yes and no. Don't tell me right away. Give me a second. It might come to I can see him in my head, but
Yeah, it was a one-hit wonder.
Oh yeah. I can't remember. Whoa!
And that's foul back.
That was golfed away.
1 and 2 the count with 2 outs.
Okay, so what's the rest of the story, as they say? What was the name
Well,
of the artist?
I hope I pronounced it right, but it's Geraldo, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if it's Geraldo or Geraldo
Gerardo.
or
Yeah,
somewhere along
yeah.
those lines.
Gerardo. Yeah, Gerardo or whatever.
And that's
Fouled
fouled.
off.
Rico stays alive. Count remains at 1 and 2.
You know, I'm not sure who's holding that sign. I saw Audrey Escamilla over in that area a little while ago. I don't know if she's the one with the sign.
And Rico, it looks like swung and missed there, but hits the dirt, so they have to get the out here at first, and Rico is safe.
I thought that ball was foul. You see the white line on the edge of the grass? That's the foul line. That ball was in the dirt over here, but Rico's on for a single.
And I saw De Leon, the catcher, looking into the dugout like, you know, what happened, or, you know, like if he was questioning something. But
so is that a bad throw on the catcher, or is that E2? That's what I've got to call it, E2.
Well, regardless, it's a strikeout because he did swing and miss. So you could
strike out E2, runner at first.
Right. So a two-out rally perhaps here for the Panthers as
be nice to have another cushion run, as they say.
Sure. Seth Sanchez fouls that off for strike number 1. He's 1 for 2, singled in the second inning.
Well, the most important stat right now, regardless of what happens, the Panthers need 3 outs. Another run would be great. And he almost threw that away. And then the Jacob Sanchez, the first baseman for PSJA, tried that little psych play where you act like it got by you. Whoa.
Well, that pitch is inside, almost hit Sanchez. He had to get out of the way there. Enrico kind of hesitated like if he was going to go, but came back.
Well, you don't want to get picked off over there right now.
Right. You want to keep the inning alive and give your hitter a chance. Swung and he missed for strike number 2.
I think he's doing a nice job, the pitcher, of using his curveball. Started that on the outside half the plate. Seth thought it ball right there in his power alley, and it broke away from him.
So with a runner at first, 1 and 2 is the count, 2 outs. And Sanchez gets out of the batter's box. Enrico, his lead is not very big, but he just needs to be careful in the pitch. Swung and he missed, and once again, looks like it hit the dirt, so they're going to have to get the out there at first, and there it is. So the Panthers leave a runner at first, but they lead 2-0 as we move on to the 7th inning. PSJA Bears with one last shot in game number 2.
Before Harlan Block raised the flag over Iwo Jima, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. There he played for the Panthers, won a championship, and learned some of the leadership skills he and 7 other students used while serving in the Marines. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prominent graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For war hero Harlan Block, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
So it's not often in life that you're faced with a do-or-die moment, and the Panthers of Weslaco High School right now need 3 outs without allowing more than 2 runs. They allow 2, they'll come to bat in the bottom of the 7th. They only allow 1, the game will be over. They allow none, the game will be over. Jonathan Castillo, Luis Longoria, the battery for the Panthers, being backed up by Seth Sanchez at first, Brian Diaz at second, shortstop Axel Camarena, Raul Camarena at third, Evan Margot out in left field, center fielder Matt Calderon, and right fielder Rico Avila will do everything in their power to send this series back to PSJA tomorrow. The batter to lead off here at the top of the 7th inning, number 10, Vicente Castillo. He's playing third base, Mike. He's 0 for 2.
Flied out to center his last time up, and we're going to have hitters 5, 6, and 7 in the lineup here. So bottom of the lineup coming up. Let's see if Castillo can take care of business here and send this to game number 3.
And here we go, first pitch here in the top of the 7th. And it's a single by number 10, Castillo, right down the line. Good job by the Panther defense getting that ball back in play. And that's a long single. But here in the top of the 7th inning, PSJA starts off with a base runner.
And for Castillo, Coach, that's his first hit of the series, something that PSJA needs. And it looks like we're going to have a courtesy runner here if I can get his number before he turns his
13.
Looks like number 13.
That'd be Marco Guajardo. He's the son of the head coach. So he's a baseball lifer, and stepping in to bat, Trey Guajardo, center fielder, number 23, 0 for 2, Mike.
Grounded to short his last time up in the 4th inning. But with a chance right here.
And first pitch is ball 1 to Trey Guajardo. So a leadoff single, pinch runner in now at first base. And that ball hit hard, but foul. Trey Guajardo trying to get behind the runner. That would have definitely taken the runner at first to third base. Nice job out there, Rico Avila, getting the ball back into play. We have a 1-1 count, 1 on, nobody out. Panthers looking for 3 outs. A double play right here is going to be tough. Both of these guys run really well for PSJA.
That last pitch, third baseman Raul Camarena was standing in the grass there, as you could see him coming close and marching in.
Ball outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. I don't know if anybody for the Panthers has warmed up. I don't know if they're going to hang with Castillo here if he gets in a dilemma. But with no outs running at first, you're not that far from being in the dilemma you don't want to be in. The tying runs at the plate right now. And he steals, does not get a clean exchange of the ball, stolen base. And now you have a runner in scoring position, a 3-1 count. And the DH, Pablo Trevino, who has flown out twice, is on deck. Mike, I might almost prefer to have Guajardo down there at first base so you have force outs at all the bases.
Yeah, that's an interesting point right there, Coach, especially with the count 3-1. You don't want to give Trey something for him to hit the ball. And there it is.
And that's what they were thinking. He didn't give him anything really to hit. But now the winning run is stepping in. Looks like they may be sending somebody else to the plate. No?
Looks like it's still going to be 0-0.
The DH, that's Pablo Trevino, 0 for 2 tonight. And last night, Mike, do we know what he did last night?
Yeah, well, last night Pablo was 0 for 2.
So he's 0 for 4 in the series. Nobody out. Runners on first and second. Marco and Trey Guajardo. Might be thinking small ball here. See if you can advance the runners while bunting them over.
You may be right, Coach, because I noticed that Pablo was talking to his third base coach there, or the head coach, getting instructions.
And here comes Coach Cerna, talk about the situation.
I do see a couple of guys warming up now, Coach.
So he's buying a little time, and he's making sure everybody knows what's going on. And so everybody's with their coaches. Now guys are coming out of the dugout and off the base pass, which this is something new to me this season. It's something I've never seen before. It was pointed out to me in a college game the other day. But everybody's now using wristbands. Everybody's doing everything in groups. I've never seen baseball kind of to the point that it's at, but this is huge right here. PSJA can end the series with a couple of runs. They don't have anything to lose. Weslaco needs to convert those 3 outs we've been talking about for a couple innings, and right now they have none.
best opportunity for the Bears tonight with nobody out. So, interesting situation here.
Who is that crazy woman right in front of us here in the press box?
Isn't that CTE director Sandra Avila?
Oh, okay. I thought she was familiar. No, I knew who it was. And, yeah, she's a little bit crazy.
Yeah, she's trying to get the crowd going a little bit.
Well, you got to do that from in front of them, not
Sure.
behind them. They can't see you when you're behind them.
Well, she's probably trying to get herself going, and then
there
she'll
you
probably
go.
get everybody else going.
One strikes the count. Showing bunt. He executes it foul. Tried to be too perfect there, Mike. Actually, Raul Camarena was playing deep back there. Good job by Jonathan Castillo coming off the mound, and good job by Luis Longoria trying to field that ball. But the batter just tried to be too perfect, and now that it's a two-strike count, that's a pitcher's count. Pablo Trevino at the bat, the DH. Jonathan Castillo now wants to get him out without giving him anything to move these runners along with. Swung and a miss.
Oh, look at this, Coach. Double play. How about that?
Strikeout, throw out, and those outs we were talking about. So first of all, you have the strikeout of Trevino for out number one. Out number two is the runner down at first base, gets caught off the bag. It's two away, and your batter is number 33 off the bench. Last night's starting pitcher, Chique Marroquin, checks in the bat.
Batting for the Bears, Chique Marroquin.
And Marroquin steps in. Mike, what was his stats last night?
Last night he was 0 for 3. Grounded twice to short and to first. So what does that say? That means he does make contact.
Well, he's going to bat for Pacina, who grounded out and flew out. So they must feel like that this young man gives them a better opportunity to get a run across. And
But what a big play that was, Coach.
well, outstanding job by the pitcher and the catcher. And, you know, both teams have had a couple of sleepy base running errors, as I call them, where you get caught looking somewhere you shouldn't be looking. Kind of if you're playing secondary in football and you're looking at the quarterback, you're probably going to get burnt if you're playing man-to-man. And here we go, 2 outs. And that pitch is going to be ball one. I thought that curved right in there. Marroquin looked at it. You got first base open, Mike. You've got the 9-hole hitter, Cesar Cantu, who got on an error and struck out tonight on deck. So you don't want to make any mistakes with Marroquin here. And that's up in the air. Evan Margot. And it gets by him. That's going to score 1 run. And Marroquin rounds second and stops. Mike, I got to call that an error.
Yeah. I don't know if the wind had anything to do with it. Margot got underneath it and then had to move to his left at first and then back to his right. And yeah, just the ball off his glove there. And so now it's 2-1 in favor of Weslaco.
Well, how big was that picking that man off of first base now?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's huge because he probably scores 2 in that situation. Now, number 1, Miguel Flores comes in to run for Marroquin, so they have a little speed over there at second. The 9-hole hitter, let me tell you what, Mike, you want this out because you do not want Juan Zambrano stepping into bat with runners on base.
Yeah, we're talking about a guy that has 3 hits in the series and has that clutch gene in him. And so, yes, Coach.
And a chance to help his own cause here.
Absolutely.
So here we go, 2 outs, 1 on, score 2-1. Weslaco trying to hold on, and the first pitch to Cantu is a ball.
And Longoria getting some help from the first base umpire asking, but the umpire says nope.
no, I believe.
Said nope, did not swing. So 1-0 is the count.
Did you think he swung? I did not think.
No, I thought that he held up.
You know, I'm not always the best judge of that, but I thought he held up pretty well there. That one he swung. Strike one, 1 ball, 1 strike. Now where I'm from, with 2 outs, with a chance to win the ball game, this is when the crowd goes crazy. But they're pretty subdued right now.
I think it's a combination of nerves and, you know, PSJA has an opportunity right now. So
yes, they do. But, you know, a little bit of noise may be valuable.
Right.
And here comes the 1-1 pitch. That ball's popped up. Is it going to get out of play? I think it is going to stay in. Oh! Raul Camarena does a great job of hustling over. But that makes it strike 2. Panthers are having a hard time, Mike, putting that last nail here. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away. Runner down at second. Weslaco trying to extend this series to game 3 tomorrow.
I think now we're going to get the crowd involved here as a.
Yeah, they should be on their feet, in my opinion. Chanting, they're starting to chant anyway. We were talking about getting 3 outs. Now you're down, we need 1 strike.
1 strike.
9-hole hitter at the plate for PSJA. And here's the pitch. In the dirt, 2-2. You don't want to make any mistakes, but you sure want this last strike. And we've been talking for 2 days about giving good teams extra outs. There's 2 errors this inning. One that put the runner on second and one that kept the game going. That's going to be high. Count will be full, Mike.
So here we go. 3-2 count.
And
2 out.
Last night's MVP is in the on-deck circle.
So this is a big time pitch.
Everybody involved in this play.
Yeah, the series on the line now.
It's big right here.
Right.
And stolen base and a walk. So the tying runs at third base. And you got runners at first and third. And the pitcher, number 2, Juan Zambrano, steps in. Mike, he's 1 for 2 tonight with a walk.
And that came in the 5th inning. As we see Coach Serna coming out to talk to the umpire here.
I'm thinking he's asking if the other one counted as a visit. I don't know what the story is.
I know in the major leagues, when you come out for the second time, you're supposed to take your pitcher out. I don't know if the rule applies at the high school level, but I'm told yes.
Well, is this not a second visit?
In the inning, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
you're going to have runners at first and second. You're going to have 2 outs, and you're going to have Zambrano stepping in to bat. And
actually, first and third.
I'm sorry, first and third. I forgot the stolen base there. So a pass ball from tying the ball game here, Mike. Here's the nice thing. If something disastrous happens, the Panthers do get the last at bat. They just don't want to take that last at bat. Let's see who would be coming to the plate in the 7th. Matt Calderon, Brian Diaz, and Marco Leal would be the batters in the bottom of the 7th inning. But Zambrano steps in. Jonathan Castillo has been stellar tonight, but he's facing a problem here. Runners at first and third, 2 away here in the top of the 7th. And that pitch is outside. Ball 1.
And if needed, Coach, second base is open.
Right.
So,
a walk is not life-altering
right
here.
And they could also get a force out at second.
Marl Keene is 0 for 3. He's on deck. I'm sorry, Gutierrez is 0 for 3 on deck. That's a nice pitch, but he said it's outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
Now the PSJA Bear fans are
happy,
chanting along and happy, and a few of those that are to the right of us are standing and encouraging Zambrano, pleading to get his 4th hit of the series.
And there's the strike. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Got the outside corner there.
I think we may have a little sprinkle going here, Mike. So they really want to get this out. We don't want to delay. You know that softball story I told you, the reminder, oh, it's popped up. Seth Sanchez makes the catch, and that's the ball game. Mike, what a dramatic end. What a great ball game. So the score of tonight's game number 2, PSJA 1, the Weslaco Panthers 2. So when we look at the series, it is now score 1 apiece. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock on K-West, tune in for game number 3 coming to you from PSJA. If you can get there in person to support the Panthers, get there. But on behalf of our cameraman, Vinny Berry, the technology man, Mike Palacios, the reporter extraordinaire, Mike Gonzalez, Coach John Boswell saying, see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.